we have to talk about the Buot Balintawak and some of the basics that we have to sort of digest before we go into the more complicated parts. To start with, when you do Eskrima, you have to learn how to hold a stick. See? And for us, there are some styles to hold the stick this way. I try to discourage that. Say, hold it long. Let's say he strikes, let's say number one here. In this position, it becomes very easy to disarm. See, it's like a giveaway. It's like taking away candies from baby. So we try to minimize the length of the grip or the pull grip. And this has practical purposes because if he strikes one, it is enough that you use this. Eh? That's all that you need for this. You strike here, okay. That's all you need. That's the use of the grip. Okay, and in Eskrima you have to learn how to use the eyes. You know, some styles or some arts they look at the chest. Some look straight in the eyes. You know, some just watch peripheral vision. Probably observe the shoulder movements. Sometimes traditionally, you use the eyes either to intimidate, stay down, like you would do in a boxing match or anything like that. But the important thing is that you're observant as to the movement and motion of your opponent. You're sensitive to whatever he's doing. Okay. And another thing, basic in Eskrima, especially Buot Balintawak, is we are very aware of stepping. Okay. My compadre Joe Villasin, or even the Grandmaster Joe, was always very conscious of stepping. There are basic rules of stepping. It's like a dance. Okay? If my foot is forward this way, his foot is his right foot is forward. If I step forward, step back. If I step back here, if I step back, follows. Okay? There's an exception to this rule. Wherever the stick is, like if I strike here, that's the correct position, right? He counters. Okay? Now, when my stick goes this way, don't step back yet. Since this is the logical position, right? Correct? Mm-hmm. But this is the exception to the rule. Because wherever the stick is, if my stick is here, that leg has to withdraw. Because if it doesn't withdraw, see, it's a natural target. So, when I step forward this way, that is the natural position, correct? Correct? Now, if that does not withdraw, it's a natural target, see? So, because my stick is on the side, that leg has to withdraw. See? So, that's as far as stepping is concerned. Okay? So, and we try to maintain a distance, a striking distance, and control distance, where you're able to control, play, push, pull, strike. Otherwise, you go into long distance fighting. And most Eskrima fightings, it always starts with the intimidation dance. They probably start from afar. That's why you see all these 18th century things like that, intimidation dances. But the Grandmaster abhorred those. You know. His was rather straight to the point striking. So, some young grandmasters, they use it. It promotes videos, it promotes seminars, It's a way of spicing up. And I have no fight against it. We're talking of practical fighting. Okay? So another thing is balance. Okay? Balance, it's usually your right foot in a strike this way. This is your left foot is your left heel is lifted a little bit, and this is lifted a little bit. So your weight is mostly if you are here, your foot is sort of spread 55-45, and we do not take very exaggerated long steps. Most martial arts, they have this very wide stances or anything like that. In Eskrima, that's very difficult because the movement is quick and fast. You should be able to shift your weight like a running back, you know. So if you let's say head face this way, you have to be ready to shift this way, to shift your weight. So, you know, that's the shiftiness. Balance, shiftiness, strike. Okay. Okay. Let's go to strikes. Let's start with power strikes. Power strikes. Traditionally, we just started with this starting position. Okay. Younger masters, I can mention my buddy, good friend, Balintawak. He likes to start here. See, and he starts here. That is fine, as long as you started here, but you don't go from here to here, because now that's telegraphing. The moment you do this, you strike. Your strike follows. So that's what you call telegraphing or berada. So we do not do that. If you start from here and you do a power strike, you know, that is why my dear friend Bobby, he lifts this and he does this exaggerated twist of. That's the dynamics of regular sports. Other sports do the same thing. Golf, baseball, when you strike, you start your energy from the hind leg, followed by the hip movement, shoulder movement, strike. And this is the follow through. That's where you obtain power. Okay? And it's the same thing on the other side. This lands here, and this lands here. Now you're in the ready position for another power strike and the delivery of execution. Okay? Now, facing the strike. Wherever the strike is coming from, strike right, you face that strike. If this strike is coming from you face the strike. Okay? You're better facing the strike. Sometimes you're caught in a position where you can't face the strike. He may sneak attack here. So, in order to do that, you turn your body this way, and you sometimes you don't have time to shift your weight. You're still facing the strike. And going through that. Okay? Now, this stick is very fast. Okay? You do not realize how fast it is. But that speed is directly proportional to the length of the stick. So it's like if you say a ray of light during a circus or some carnival, you see that light sweep the sky this way. That's just about, if you turn your wrist here, that's only like a 6-8 inch movement. And that's magnified by the length of the stick. If the there were lights at the end of the stick, and it moved that way. You could see how fast that light had traveled. So that's pretty fast. That's why we cannot estimate the speed of that stick. Now, a lot of people don't know how to strike a stick. They have no concept of where the power is coming from. You have to think of the stick as a hammer. Okay, it's like a hammer head. Feel the head of the hammer fall. Okay, move it sideways this way. It's like a bladed concept. Imagine that this is a blade, because originally the fights were with bolos. A bolo is a machete, a long knife. Okay, it was the sidearm of a farmer. Used it to cut grass, cut coconuts, and occasionally they use it as a weapon. You know, in case of conflicts or anything like that, they would fight with the blade. So it was usually a chop, pop, blade. Okay, so if he struck you this way, you drop that, and then you slice open or decapitate your opponent. Okay. Now, you notice that I blocked the stick. In real life, you have to think of the fight that there's got to be hostile intent. Okay, so when you strike, you are intending to strike a target. Okay, and if for usual daily workouts or weekend workouts, we cannot hit any part of the anatomy. It would end a fight, and you would lose friendships. So what we do is, if he strikes that way, you bang this, you bang the stick. But in real life, this is your target. See, this is your target. Or if it is close, bam! There's hostile intent. So you are not banging sticks like you would be doing an aeroplane movie, or who is this new where they use sticks, swords this way? No. This is hostile intent. So you strike the head. Okay, we talk about telegraphing. You do not telegraph that. And part of the telegraphing is you do not retract your stick. Okay, like from here, if you're here in this ready position, you do not retract it. We talked about this earlier. So sometimes if he strikes here, strike here, instead of going this way, go right straight. From here, if it's this way, go right straight. Pam, pam. I mean, no, none of that. Because that split second you do that, his stick comes back here. That's telegraphing, hostile intent. Okay. Now, we have talked about striking, and I have one particular concept which I want to share with you. Okay, because when somebody strikes, you strike. You see, most of the time, you know, especially in the number 12 strike, you know, you probably do this and do that. Okay, and if this were bare hand, if he punches, see, most arts you parry this over. And even Balintawak Eskrima, we used to do this. See, I have sort of injected my own theory of this. I feel that punch, you see, it's like if the other person is very strong, you cannot meet that punch straight on this way. If you're a little guy like I am, that's gonna hurt my hand. So I usually like to deflect it, see? And there are three things you're doing when somebody's punching you. Let's aim at your face, okay? Three things. First, natural thing is to evade that punch, right? So, you're slipping that punch. If you're a professional fighter, that's all they do. Manny Pacquiao would, that's all he would do. Punch, slip and punch. Now, other things that Balintawak guys do is to punch, right? And also other arts also do this. They parry it, okay? Some, they double parry it. They double parry it, this, clear, this way, strike. Okay? Double parry is good, and most of my brothers still do that. I have thought of this, and I have thought of it like, if, like I said, if I'm small and that fist is so strong, when you deflect it, it absorbs that speed and it slips at the same time. It's similar to when you're throwing rock, a flat rock on the leg, that rock is going to skip. If you're going to shoot a police car, you shoot directly on it, that bullet will go through the windshield or the body of the car. But if you shoot sideways, that bullet is gonna skip. The same thing in a power punch. See, that's why I developed this concept. It's like catching a ball. When a strong ball is thrown to you, whether it's a baseball, a football, or something like that, you catch it, absorb. You see? If you catch say a football this way, and the throw is very strong, you will feel that a ball go through your hands. Thus, the concept of absorbing it, punch right this way. Okay. Now, and if that punch were coming through this way, I slip it, and the left hand simultaneously. Note the word simultaneously. Okay? It's not a 1-2 thing. It's not punch, right? It's not 1-2. Rather, it's 1. Okay, punch, right? 1. And in doing that, punch. It's not this way. It's forward, punch. Okay? Punch. So regardless of how strong your opponent is, how big he is, when he does that, this is deflecting it, and this is forcing it forward. Now, later on, you develop the habit of catching. See how quickly you can do that? Pow! And this catch can go into an arm break. See, so that's the evolution of the ball concept. And if this was a stick, and if this were a stick, like in a number 12 strike, traditionally when you strike a number 12, this was it. You deflect it, strike, again. You deflect it, strike, counter. Okay? My students know this. When you strike a number 12, you see that ball concept as it strikes, you simultaneously strike the wrist, and you obtain the power. You see there's a sweet spot in the stick. If you feel it, there's no power here. There's no power here. The power is somewhere here. This is the sweet spot. If this were a, striking with either the baseball bat or the golf club, there's a sweet spot of your club head. The same thing with the stick. Okay, so let's strike here. Pow! See this? Strike that. Now, as you strike that arm, the radial and that ulna is broke. That arm is useless. Okay. Now slip that, and you notice as short my thumb is, I'm gripping his thumb, so that stick can no longer do any mischief. Because if I just do that, that stick can still be mischievous. That can still strike me. See? But if I'm controlling this, that stick is not going anywhere. See? Pam! Okay. After I strike that, I slip this, so this is close here together. Now, I shift my weight here, I break his balance. So regardless of the size of your opponent, you've broken his balance. Transfer control here, and now we can go into a full strike. Okay, so that's basically what we do. Okay, yeah, yeah. So, and well, for now we can stop there, and if we have time today, we will do a little bit more. But for now, I think that's a nice short clip which we can add to wherever we want to put it on the net, and then it's sort of a little educational clip on the Buot Balintawak Eskrima. And do not forget this event. This is a global friendship fellowship. It's not competitive. All styles are included. So all competing styles. So nobody says I'm better than you or whatnot. Just show your stuff, okay? And then let's have fellowship. This will register starting at the end of August 31st, and then it will proceed from the 1st of September to the 3rd of September. We will have grandmasters from Europe coming here. And those grandmasters, anybody from Europe, I'll give them a free tour of the Grand Canyon and Sedona, courtesy of our good brother of Angry Crab, Danny Sevilla. Okay, so we have these events, and we will have almost 20 legends, masters, and grandmasters from the Philippines. So we will have weapons, knife fighting, stick fighting, and this will be a fantastic event. Do not miss it. I implore you. Thank you very much.